This is a clip from one of our most recent episodes. For full episodes and more, please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and YourVibesPodcast.com. This episode is brought to you by Your Vibes Entertainment. Your Vibes Entertainment is Middle Tennessee's premier hospitality entertainment consulting company. If you or your business are in need of a mobile DJ, group entertainment like trivia, karaoke, or bingo, or you just need a professional MC to help coordinate your event's day of logistics, we have you covered. It's no work and all play when you hire Your Vibes Entertainment. You can trust us to bring top-of-the-line sound equipment, lighting, and a professional attitude to any event you are hosting. If you are interested in boosting your revenue, showcasing your company, or just want to provide high-vibe entertainment for your family, friends, employees, or clients, please contact us on Facebook or Instagram at Your Vibes Entertainment. Shoot us an email at yventertainmentservicesllc@gmail.com or reach out to the owner Michael directly at 615-330-3236. Thanks, and always remember, stay vibey, my friends. So, I know you kind of operate there as well too, but the catering aspect, or maybe not catering, but I guess kind of the food truck or mobile operations, I'll say that. So, is that something, I know that you've dived into that as well too, but where are you, where is that taking you, and what are you seeing when you're doing that?
I would love to be able to go mobile as well as our Burns location, but finding food trucks like the two that I've had for the past events, I've either borrowed or rented from somebody just to have something out there, and but just the response we get from that, like the street festival last year, it was insane. Like, I brought enough food to run my brick and mortar location for 2.5 days. Wow. We were sold out in 5.5 hours.
That's crazy.
And I mean, and it wasn't just me, it was the other vendors as well. Like, it was just insane. And, you get people coming in, oh, you need to move to Dickson, oh, you need to move to Charlotte, need to move to White Bluff, something, I mean, we've gotten support at every angle that we've looked at this from. There's a lot of people that have our backs and, that are on our team, pushing us to try to do better and do more, I guess. But I wouldn't mind having, a smaller food truck, nothing crazy, but, something to set up at street festivals, little pop-up events or something like that,
Yeah, something that, it's obviously, it's kind of like it's like distributing your beer almost, you get it out of that one location and you take it to others and you kind of just get that name recognition for it. And, well, I know I'm going tonight is the food truck committee council meeting tonight to go over the two proposed deals for how or if and when food trucks can come into Dickson and kind of what the regulations are around that. I think, I guess before I tell you what I think, I mean, what do you obviously operate in Burns, and what are your thoughts on food trucks being able to come into the city limits of Dickson and operate?
I think it's an incredible idea.
Sure.
Because, instead of having to go to Nashville every day and, fight that market, they can set up down here, like, even if it's find a parking lot or a piece of land or something and just have like a food trailer park day, where everybody can go out and there's just a plethora of different foods to try. And, there's a lot of people that, that have food trucks that you don't hear about a lot because they are in Nashville and they can't come down here. And you're obviously not going to drive to Nashville to go to a food truck.
Sure.
So I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, I've even thought about reaching out to a couple of them, and because I've got that big parking lot on my side, being like, hey guys, let's start the spring off, 3 or 4 of them, whatever I got room for. Hey, bring your rig, set up. Let's make an event out of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that would take away from my business over there, but I think people are too worried about competing than they are working together on stuff like that.
In Burns, you can set up food trucks in Burns anywhere, can't you?
That I don't know.
I think you can. It's knowing Landon, I don't think he would care.
Yeah, I don't think he'd have a problem with it.
No, no, I'm with you on that point though, and I've heard all angles of the argument as far as just kind of what would happen. This what if situation, and maybe not surprisingly, but an overwhelming amount of downtown business owners, obviously specifically restaurant owners, don't really care if food trucks come into town. There's this idea that it's going to take away their business. Well, I don't know about that. I think adding more variety, a rising tide brings up all the ships, kind of thing.
Right.
And then there was the argument on property taxes. Well, they just bring in a truck, they don't have to pay property taxes. Well, they've solved that with a fee option. One of the proposals is an annualized fee. I think of it's like $1,400 or $2,400, something like that. Or there's another option. I think that's hopefully this one will be the one that goes, because I know that it would almost be a deterrent for people to come in here, and it would be on a fiscal year basis too. It's not like you can come pay your fee for the year, in December and expect it to go to next December. It would just be a month's worth. So if you're a food truck and you want to come into Dickson, you in essence would have to come pay your fee in January to make it worth it. And they don't know.
Yeah.
They could lose out on $2,400 or whatever it may be if they never came to Dickson.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a day rate one in the other proposal that's maybe 100 or a little bit over that, which is kind of on par with Columbia and Kingston Springs and Clarksville. They all range between $100 and $175 a day or something like that.
Yeah, those prices, those are definitely doable. You get into the $500,000 prices, that's going to deter a lot of people.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think another one of the big thing from the city side, at least, is the policing of it. So and this is something that a lot of people don't think about. They're like, well, why don't we just say yes and let's do it? Let's just willy-nilly this whole thing and just let them do whatever they want. Well, the whole reason that we can't have food trucks anyway is that food trucks in the zoning regs is classified under a peddler class code. So there used to be back in the day a bunch of people that would just come and set up tents and sell leather wallets or belts or feathers or whatever the hell they were selling, and just causing a big issue. They just pop up anywhere, so we had to put rules in place. And at that point there was really, food trucks weren't really a thing, and there really hasn't been a push up until the past 2 or 3 years for them to be able to come into town. So now they're having to go back and kind of rethink some of those things and do a more specified definition of what a peddler may be, and then how the food trucks can operate. Well, should you let it pass, let's say somebody pulls into town and sets up without a permit. Who's in charge of laying down the law at that point? Who's in charge of making sure that their health inspection sheets are up to date, and that they're doing what they need to do, and that their truck is in an operable manner to where if they set up and some bitch blows up, the city doesn't want to be liable for that. So. And as of right now, it's pretty much all fallen back into Jason Pilkington's lap, Director of Planning and Zoning for the city of Dickson, which he's got enough going on, in my opinion, to have to deal with a lot of that. And there's not really enough manpower right now for him to kind of delegate that duty. Then you think about, well, what about police officers? Well, they've obviously got plenty to do as well too, and they don't want to run around and check on food trucks. So. And then the parking situation downtown, there's really not a good spot except for that new city lot. That's a city lot that wouldn't really get in the way of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And talking to a couple other food truck owners, they don't necessarily care about being downtown either.
Yeah.
They'd rather be kind of maybe out on 46 if they could, or in the industrial park if they could, kind of thing. So
I had somebody ask me about setting up at one of the places in the industrial park, and they said their corporate policy on that is I wouldn't be able to go, because I was like, yeah, man, I'd love to come down there and serve you guys. But the company said that I wouldn't be able to set up just for that daily lunch shift. I would have to set up for the nighttime lunch shift as well to be able to get any of it.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
I never would have thought about that.
I didn't.
Equal opportunity, I guess.
I mean, I get it. But
yeah, I get it. It's
yeah.
It's like, damn, that's rocking a hard place right there.
I'm like, I'm already up there at, 4:30 to 6 a.m., and I don't want to have to go sit up there at midnight, and finding somebody that would go up there and sell, it'd be kind of hard. But
yeah.
I don't know. But
And I know they talked about they had talked to the fair board as well. In my mind, if that situation were to have worked out, that would have been the best case scenario, because you've got that huge parking lot, you've got accessible bathrooms, you could just have a police car sit there, they could just station someone there and they wouldn't have to be mobile patrol and drive around and find these people, and you can have people just pull in and then circle back out. But I don't necessarily think the fair board wanted a lot of that liability.
Yeah.
Their insurance is already high enough given everything else they've got going on, and I think staging food trucks was just something they weren't really interested in at the time being. Now it's just going to take it actually happening. I don't have a doubt in my mind that's going to happen. It's just, where do the chips fall? It's a big push, and I've talked to the mayor about it, and he says, what benefit is it going to bring to Dickson? Well, you're going to provide your citizens with what now Dickson has is really a lot of lacking food options.
Yeah.
For a county as a whole that's not, a chain restaurant or fast food or something like that. And given obviously there's 7 days in the week, that it doesn't take too many months to really hit every single place.
Yeah.
And a lot of the menus don't necessarily change or rotate. Some of them do, so you kind of get your fill within a year or so, and then you kind of just keep hitting the same spots. But to throw that variety in, and a lot of these food trucks have big social media followings too. So you let them come up here and set up, and there's they've got 50,000 followers on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook or whatever it may be, and they're like, hey, we're in Dickson. I mean, it would, if I was a big food truck follower, and I was in school or had the day off or something, and sure, let's just take a road trip to Dickson, see what it's all about. Let's go get some Maine's cousin lobster or whatever it may be, and enjoy the day up there. So I mean, you're potentially, you've got some major marketing opportunities with the food truck stuff as well too.
You're bringing them into seeing what else is available in Dickson. These all these mom and pop shops up and down Main Street. And, tucked off in little holes, that stuff that they'd never see if that food truck that they've eaten at 1,000 times in every other city they've been in comes to Dickson. So,
and hopefully move them out here, and I don't know really what kind of the I guess median age is of people that eat at food trucks, but I would imagine it's anywhere between that 20 and 35, 40, 45-year-old kind of age range there. And to kind of get those people, just again, it's in my line of business, in anybody's line of business in sales, really is attention. You could have the best pitch in the whole world, or you could be the best closer in the whole world, or have the best product, but nothing is going to get you sales or revenue or tax dollars like attention does. And if you just keep bringing neat things to Dickson, and you could have, and then you've got all of these food trucks that are used to Dickson and used to dealing with the city and how they work and what they're supposed to do. Then you've got kind of this relationship with, outside vendors in the city of Dickson. And then at that point, it's fair game for, a huge festival where you could really pull, like some of these food trucks, you're like, oh yeah, I really don't want to come out here. I don't know much about Dickson. It's a small redneck town, whatever it may be. But if they've coming out here, or if they know people that have come out here and said, man, we're fucking killing it right now. Then you have a festival and you've got people banging down the door to pay, X amount of money for a permit for this specific festival or whatever it may be. And, now you've got more revenue. So, the world's changing. And people are changing too, and interests are obviously changing. And Dickson's been good with growth, and they've done a good job with controllable growth. I still see a little bit of resistance on some things coming in. I'm sure you do as well too. But it should be an interesting meeting, and I know there's going to be a ton of people there. So just kind of excited to see where that goes. So. Thanks again to Your Vibes Entertainment for sponsoring this episode. If you're looking to boost your revenue, showcase your company, or just want to provide high vibe entertainment for your family, friends, employees, or clients, please reach out to them directly on Facebook or Instagram at Your Vibes Entertainment. Shoot them an email at yventertainmentservicesllc@gmail.com or give the owner Michael a call directly at 615-330-3236. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode, please reach out to me directly via email at yourvibespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and always remember, stay vibey, my friends.